everybody. It's Megan with Metropolis Real Estate Solutions. For those of you who are friends of mine or Adam's, hi, it's so good to see you. Thank you so much for watching. And for those of you who maybe don't know who I am, I own Metropolis Real Estate Solutions with my husband Adam, and we are a full service appraisal company and real estate brokerage. And what I wanted to talk with you today about are market conditions in one of our favorite little zip codes, 32803. That is where our office is located, right in the heart of the Milk District. And then it also encompasses another one of our favorite neighborhoods, which is Audubon Park. And so I'm hoping that everybody can get a little bit of something out of this. So there's lots and lots of news right now about what's happening with the economy, and I want to break that down a little bit from our perspective and what we're seeing. As appraisers, we are looking at statistical data every day for every single appraisal that we prepare, and so I feel like we get kind of a heads up on everything that's happening and get to see it happening in real time. Versus, people elsewhere in the industry who may only be looking at statistics on a semi-regular basis. We have to do it every day. So in the news right now, obviously we're talking about a recession. That is a very real thing. I don't think it's anything to be scared of. I think that we've had so much growth after the last couple of years, coming out of the depths of that horrible crash in 2007, 2008. We've had such incredible growth over that time and recovery that what we're likely to see in our real estate market is just a stabilization as a result of the impending recession. And to be honest, that's not a bad thing. We've talked about that before here over at Metropolis. That's really actually a very good thing for all of us. So there's that. And another really positive thing is, in order to kind of combat that, in order to maybe play a little PR game, our federal government has lowered interest rates, and we've got lower interest rates now. They've been lowered for the first time in a decade, I think. Instead of consistently inching upward, we finally have a little bit of a downward slope, and that's a really good thing. That means that we can afford to buy more house. That means that we're hopefully going to encourage more buyers into the market. So what I've done here is I've performed a search in the zip code of 32803. Again, that is like the Milk District, Audubon Park, Colonial Town areas. And I've put in all of the active and pending and closed within 1 year single family listings. And what I've come up with is, you can see right here, if you look at the status of all of those, we've got just the solds here, we've got the actives, the pendings, just the solds, and all of them. If you look at that, what we can see is the lowest sales price over the last year within 32803 was $85,100. The highest was $1,750, or $750,000. That was over in Rose Isle. We love Rose Isle. But then the median sales price for the entire area as of right now is $330,000. And what's important to consider there is, the typical property in this area is pretty small and pretty old. And so we've got a really wide range. However, we've got new properties, lakefront properties, we've got older rundown properties. I'm assuming that that's what contributed to that $85,000. And so what I've done further for you is I've narrowed down my statistical research to include what is the most the typical property in the area, so the median home in 32803. And here is the data I have gathered for you. So one thing to see here is, over the prior 6 months, we've had a real decline in purchases. The prior 4 to 6 months, which would have been about the beginning, the end of spring, beginning of summer, we had about 91 sales within a 3-month period. And now, as we're getting into the slower season, we're down to about 84. That's fine. That's probably just an indication of seasonal factors. When we look here, we can see that there's still a drastic undersupply. Here are the active listings. So at the time that we had the 91 sales in the prior 4 to 6 months, there were only 42 active listings at that time that buyers were clamoring over. And then again, we still have an undersupply with only 58 active listings to meet the expected sales trends. If they're going to continue in this, 80 to 90 range, we still have a real drastic shortage of inventory. So again, this is a great time to try and sell your property and get top dollar. We can see that median sales prices have slowly, gradually, but consistently improved over the course of the last 12 months in our 32803 zip code. That's wonderful news. What I find here a little bit telling is that agents are getting a little too aggressive with their pricing strategies. So things started looking really good as we were heading into spring, and we had a median list price of $325,000. And what did agents do? Oh my goodness, they shot for the stars. And what happened? We jumped from a list price of $325 all the way up to $360, and the market very quickly said, no, that's not going to work for us. You need to get more realistic. And so prices adjusted themselves down to around the $350 range. So that's something to keep in the back of your mind, that overpricing your house may wind up, it may not sell during that time frame and may wind up having to be adjusted to come down here into this. And then one last thing to note about the area when you're talking listing strategies with your agent is what the typical list to sales price ratio might be. So if you really need to get $350 out of your house, and there are comparables that support that $350, you might want to list your house about 2% higher than that. See this 98%? That 98% means that most listings, the median listing, was negotiated to about 98% of its asking price. So that's about what you can expect right now. And then it would seem that sales concessions are extremely common in this market. With 307 closed sales during the prior 12 months, 99 of those sales contain seller's concessions, which is about 32%. The typical sales concession is anywhere between $112,000, with the median being about $4,000. So when Metropolis puts together a pricing strategy for your home, we keep in mind all of these things. We keep in mind the fact that approximately 1/3 of your potential buyers are going to expect concessions in some form or another. And we keep in mind the fact that they generally are comfortable writing a contract that's about 98% of the list to sales price ratio. So we price it accordingly to keep those factors in mind ahead of time. And so we know that you're getting what you need out of your property and that we're absolutely maximizing your return. The biggest issue that we're running into here in Central Florida is a drastic shortage of inventory. So what that means is we need more inventory. This is a great time for sellers to try and sell before we hit a real slump, before people are too scared to make a move. I can tell you personally, with all of our buyers who we represent over at Metropolis Real Estate Solutions, they're desperate for good purchasing options. So it's a really good time to contact us and have us come out and maybe give you some listing ideas on listing your home, because we really can kind of maximize your return on your investment. So there you have it. Those are the most recent trends and statistical input that we're getting from our giant MLS system here in Orlando. That is for the 32803 zip code. And if you have any questions, if you want to just chat about what's going on, Adam and I are always available to talk real estate with anybody who will listen. You can reach out to us either by phone, 407-282-1600, or you can certainly check out our website, which is Metropolis RES for realestatesolutions.com, metropolisres.com. And have a great day, and let's just launch this Thursday right into the weekend, shall we?